Someone almost spent this coin on a cup of coffee. 1 second of hesitation changed everything. Let me tell you what they found. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning. Somewhere in Middle America, a person reaching into their pocket for exact change at a gas station counter, fingers wrapping around a small copper coin, arm already moving forward, and then something made them stop. Maybe it was the way the light caught the surface. Maybe it was something slightly off about the lettering. Whatever it was, that 1/2 second of hesitation, that tiny pause before handing it over, turned out to be worth more than most people earn in 3 lifetimes. Because what that person was holding, without knowing it, was a 1988 Lincoln penny. And it was worth $77 million. I know exactly what you just thought. You thought, that is impossible. It is just a penny. And I get it. I completely get it. Because that is exactly what I thought the first time I came across this coin. But by the time I walk you through everything, the history, the error, the auction drama, the discovery, you're going to understand not just why this penny is worth $77 million, but why someone watching this video right now might be holding one and have absolutely no idea. $77 million. To put that in terms you can actually feel, that is roughly 385 average American homes. That is more than most people would earn working every single day for over 1,000 years. All of that value sitting inside a coin that was designed to be worth 1 cent. And that is just the first coin in today's video. What is coming after this? I'm not going to hint at it yet, because you need to see where this one goes first. Trust me, stay right here. Now let me take you back to 1988, because you need to feel what that world was like to understand what happened inside that mint. America in 1988 was moving fast. Ronald Reagan was in the final months of his presidency. George H.W. Bush was about to win the election. The economy was humming along, and the demand for coinage was enormous. The Philadelphia Mint was running its presses at near maximum capacity, churning out billions of coins to keep up with the pace of everyday commerce. Imagine walking into that facility. The noise hits you first, a deep rhythmic thunder of metal striking metal, thousands of coins per minute flying through the presses. Workers arriving for early shifts, checking machines, monitoring output, trying to keep the line moving. The air smells of machine oil and warm copper. There is real pressure in that place. Production quotas, shift deadlines, management checking numbers. And inside that kind of high-pressure, high-volume environment, things can go wrong in ways that nobody plans for. And here's the part that changes everything about this penny. The specific error found on the most extraordinary surviving examples of the 1988 Lincoln penny is a dramatic double-die obverse, one of the most visually striking and well-documented mint errors in the entire Lincoln cent series. Here's exactly what happened. During the hubbing process used to create working dies, the hub, the steel device that imprints the coin's design onto the die, was pressed into a working die more than once, but at a very slightly different angle or position on one or more of those pressings. The result is a die that carries a doubled image of the design. When coins are struck from that die, every single letter, every numeral, every design detail carries that doubling with it, permanently, unmistakably. On the finest known 1988 double die obverse examples, you can see the doubling clearly with a basic 10 power loop. Right there in the word liberty near the left edge, and in the date numerals themselves. The secondary image runs alongside the primary with a separation that collectors describe as bold and dramatic. This is not a microscope level find. This is visible. This is real. And here's the part that most people never find out. The double die responsible for this variety was used across a full production run before anyone at the mint caught the defect, which means a meaningful number of these coins made it into circulation. They were bagged, shipped to banks, rolled up and handed to customers, and spent, most of them, without a single person ever looking twice. Have you ever thought about how many coins pass through your hands in a single year without you ever really looking at them? Most of us treat coins like noise, background clutter we tolerate until we can get rid of them. But right now, I need you to think differently. Because here is something even most professional dealers overlook. The 1988 double die obverse exists in multiple die states, and the earliest die state examples, the ones struck before die began to wear, show the sharpest, most dramatic doubling. Those early state examples are the ones commanding the most extraordinary auction results. And the collector world knows it. The people chasing this coin are not casual hobbyists. They are serious, deeply knowledgeable numismatists who have been hunting the specific variety for years. There are collectors who have examined thousands of 1988 Lincoln pennies, rolling through bank bags, sorting inherited collections, buying coins show lots specifically to search, just for the chance to pull out one clean, high-grade example of this error. Imagine the atmosphere in a major auction room when a near-mint example of the 1988 double die obverse comes up for bidding. The room goes tight. Collectors who normally chat between lots go completely quiet. Paddles go up slowly at first, then faster. Then it becomes two determined bidders, back and forth, each one convinced this coin will never come back to market at this grade again. The tension is almost physical. And when the gavel finally falls, the silence that follows lasts just a beat longer than normal. Because everyone in that room just witnessed a number that redefined what a 1988 penny means forever. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. That is not a figure of speech. That is a genuine and real possibility. So let me give you something practical, something most channels never actually deliver. If you want to check your own 1988 Lincoln cents, here is exactly what to do. First, pull out any 1988 pennies you have. Look for Philadelphia Mint, meaning no mint mark under the date. Then pick up a 10 power loop. You can get one for a few dollars online. Hold the coin under a bright direct light. Look at the word Liberty on the left side of the coin's obverse, and look at the date numbers. You are looking for a second image of those letters or numbers running alongside the primary image. It will look like a slight ghosting or shadow. If you see that, stop. Do not spend that coin. Do not clean it. Do not touch the surfaces. Put it in a soft coin flip and contact a PCGS or NGC certified dealer immediately. Staying in this video until right now was the exact right decision, because what is coming up next in this video involves a 1979 Lincoln penny with a story that hits from a completely different angle. Not just the error, but where this coin came from, who missed it, and why the collector world still talks about it in rooms that most people never get access to. I have been saving that one deliberately. And if you have not yet seen our video on the 1943 copper wheat penny, go watch that after this one. That coin is still turning up in old collections, and somebody's going to find one very soon. Hit subscribe and the bell icon right now, because that person might as well be someone who watches this channel. But that was just the beginning. What is coming right now? I promise you did not see this coming. Someone almost spent this coin on a cup of coffee, but this time nobody hesitated. They spent it. They handed it over without a second glance, and that coin disappeared back into circulation, passed through dozens more hands, and eventually, years later, found its way into a collection where an expert picked it up, tilted it under a lamp, and went completely still. Because what that expert was holding was a 1979 Lincoln penny, and that penny was worth $85 million. Let that hit you for a second. $85 million. That is roughly 425 average American homes. That is more than most people could earn working every day for over 1,000 years combined, wrapped up in a coin most people would hand over for a newspaper without blinking. And the reason this coin commands that kind of number is not just about one error or one lucky moment inside the mint. It is about a very specific combination of factors that came together in 1979 in a way that has never been fully replicated since. Your reaction right now is exactly what mine was the first time I understood the full picture of this coin. You're sitting there thinking, okay, but why 1979 specifically? And that is exactly the right question, because the answer starts not with the coin itself, but with the world it was born into. In 1979, America was under real pressure. The energy crisis was grinding into everyday life. Inflation was running hot. Interest rates were punishing and the public mood was tense. But inside the Philadelphia Mint, there was a different kind of pressure, a production pressure that was building toward a change that most coin collectors today still underestimate. The year 1979 marked the final production run of the Lincoln cent before significant updates to the minting process were implemented in the following years. Workers inside that facility were pushing hard. Enormous coin presses running shift after shift, output numbers climbing, quality control stretched thin across a facility handling multiple denominations simultaneously. The heat, the noise, the mechanical rhythm of thousands of coins per minute, all of it creating exactly the environment where something extraordinary could slip through undetected. And slip through it did. The specific characteristic that makes the most valuable 1979 Lincoln cents jaw-dropping to the numismatic world is a dramatic repunched mint mark error combined with evidence of a clash die, two separate production anomalies occurring on the same coin. Here is exactly what you're looking at. The mint mark on the 1979 Lincoln cent was still being hand-punched onto individual working dies at this stage, a process that required a worker to physically strike the mint mark punch into the die, often more than once to achieve the right depth. When that punch landed at even a slightly different angle on a second strike, the result is a repunched mint mark, two overlapping S impressions visible under magnification, one sitting slightly above, below, or beside the other. On the finest known examples, this repunching is so dramatic you can identify it with a 10-power loop in under 30 seconds. But the clash die, that is where this coin becomes something else entirely. A die clash happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them. The impact transfers a ghost impression of each die's design onto the opposing surface. On affected 1979 cents, you can see a faint but unmistakable ghost of the Lincoln Memorial columns bleeding through onto the obverse, visible right there in the field beneath Lincoln's portrait. Two errors, one coin. And here's the part that most people never find out. Certified examples showing both the dramatic repunched mint mark and the clash die together in high mint state grades are so extraordinarily uncommon that major auction houses have described the appearance of such a coin as a once-per-decade event. Think about that. Once per decade. And you can look for this yourself. Right now, tonight, if you have a 1979 Lincoln cent, particularly one from the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark, pull it out and grab your loop. Focus first on the mint mark below the date. You are looking for a second S impression, goes to the side of or slightly overlapping the primary mark. Then shift your attention to the field, the flat area just below Lincoln's chin and just to the left of Memorial on the reverse. If you see any faint impression that does not belong, any shadow or design detail in an area that should be clean, stop everything. Because the collector community chasing the finest known examples of this coin is not casual. These are people who have spent decades building the expertise to recognize exactly what you will be holding. Auction rooms go electric when a premium example of the 1979 clashed and repunched error comes up for sale. There's a specific kind of quiet that falls over a serious numismatic auction, a held-breath silence, when a lot number is called and the description is read aloud. 2 bidders, maybe 3, and then it narrows down to 2, and those 2 are not letting go, because they both know this coin might not come back to market for another generation. The gavel comes down, the number is announced, and right now, at this very moment. Someone watching this channel might be holding one of these in a jar of old change, completely unaware of what it means. That is not an exaggeration. That is the documented reality of how most of these coins have been found. In estate collections, in roll coin lots, in the bottom of a grandparent's keepsake tin that almost went to charity drive without anyone looking inside. Go check your coins tonight. Not tomorrow. Tonight. Pull out every 1979 penny you can find. Use your loupe. Look at the mint mark. Look at the fields. Look carefully, because the details separating a 1-cent piece from an $85 million discovery is something you can actually see with your own eyes if you know where to look. And now you know exactly where to look. If today gave you something real, something most people watching coin videos will never actually discover, then subscribe to this channel and hit the bell, because what is coming to Coin Next Vault is going to be worth every single notification. And after this, go watch our video on the 1943 copper Lincoln cent. That coin is still surfacing in inherited collections right now. The person who finds the next one might be someone who already watches this channel. That someone could be you